Francois I. You must be careful.
Still more examples from history? Sweetheart, I'm tired of French history. I want to see the boats on the water making blots in the sunlight.
You can't see them. There's no sunlight. It's nighttime, my sweet potato.
There's still shadows.
Oh, you're frightening me. Come sit down. We shouldn't lean out. You might fall into the water.
I want to see. You know how I love to look at the water.
How can you, my sweet potato? It makes me dizzy. Oh, this house, this island, I can't get used to it. Water all around us. Water under the windows and stretching as far as the horizon.
It's 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's dark already. It wasn't like this before. Surely you remember, there was still daylight at 9 o'clock in the evening, at 10 o'clock, at midnight.
Come to think of it, that's very true. What a remarkable memory you have.
Things have certainly changed.
Why is that, do you think?
I don't know, Semiramis, sweetheart. Perhaps it's because the further one goes, the deeper one sinks. Perhaps it's because the earth just keeps turning around. 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 Around.
Around. Around. My little Minu. Ah, yes. Well, you've certainly a very fine intellect. You are very gifted, my sweet potato. You could have been head president, head king, or even head doctor, or head general if you had wanted to. If only you'd had a little ambition in life.
What good would that have done us? We'd have not have lived any better. And besides, I have a position here. I am concierge. I am marshal of the building.
My sweet potato.
I am very bored.
You were more cheerful when you were looking at the water. Let's amuse ourselves by making believe the way you did the other evening.
Make believe yourself. It's your turn.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Drink your tea, Semiramis.
Oh, come on now. Imitate the month of February.
I don't like the months of the year.
Those are all we have up till now. Come on, just to please me.
All right. Here's the month of February.
Thank you. Thank you. You are as cute as can be, my sweet potato. Oh, you are very gifted. Well, you could have been at least a head general if you had wanted to.
I am concierge. I am marshal of the building.
Tell me the story. You know, the story. Then, at last, we laughed.
Again? Then at last we laughed? Then again? But I'm sick of it. Then at last we laughed. But it's monotonous. For all the 75 years that we've been married, every single evening, every single blessed evening, you always make me tell the same story, make me imitate the same months, the same people. Always the same. Let's talk about something else.
But my sweet potato, I'm not tired of it. It's your life. It fascinates me.
You know it by heart.
It's as if I'd suddenly forgotten everything. It's as though my mind were a clean slate every evening. Oh, yes, my sweet potato, I do it on purpose. I take a dose of salt. I become new again for you every evening. Come on now, begin again, please.
Well, if you want me to.
Well, go on then, tell your story. Oh, it's also mine. What's yours is mine. Then, at last, we laughed.
Then, at last, we laughed, my sweetheart.
And at last we laughed, my sweet potato.
Then at last, we arrived at a big fence. We were soaked through, frozen to the bone for hours, for days, for nights, for weeks.
For months.
For years. Chilled to the bone. Our noses, our feet, our knees, our ears were frozen. That was 80 years ago. let us in the garden. They might have at least opened the gate.
In the garden, the grass was wet.
There was a path that led to a little square, and in the center was a village church. Where was this village? Do you recall?
No, my sweet potato, I've forgotten.
Oh, how did we get there? Where was the road? This place was called Paris, I think.
Well, Perry never existed, my little one.
Well, of course it existed because it collapsed. It was a city of light, but it's been extinguished for 400,000 years. Nothing remains of it today but a song.
A real song? That's odd. What song?
Paris will always be Paris.
And the way to it was through the garden. Was it far?
Song? The rain?
You are very gifted. Well, if you'd had a little ambition in life, you could have been head president, head journalist, head comedian, head general. But all that's gone down the drain, alas. Down the old black drain. Down the old drain, I tell you.
At last we laughed.
Yes, go on, tell me.
Then at last we laughed. We laughed until we cried. The story was so idiotic. The Indian arrived, full speed, bare-bellied. And the idiot was pot-bellied. He arrived with a trunk chock full of rice. The rice spilled out on the ground. The Indian on the ground too. Then at last we laughed. We laughed. The idiot arrived. At last the idiot arrived.
At last, we laughed like idiots. At last we arrived, all bare. We laughed. The trunk full of rice, the rice on the belly on the ground. So that's the way it was, your wonderful Paris.
Well, who could have put it better?
You are so really fine, so really, you know, so really, you could have been anything in life, a lot more than a concierge.
Let's be modest. We should be content with the little...
Perhaps you've spoiled your career.
I've spoiled it. I've spilled it. Where are you, Mama? Oh, Mama, where are you? I'm an orphan, dwarf.
Oh, here I am. What are you afraid of?
I'm so nervous, sweetheart. You're not my Mama. I'm an orphan. Who's going to protect me?
Here I am, my sweet potato.
It's not the same thing. I want my Mama, not you. You're not my Mama.
You're breaking my heart. Don't cry, my little one.
Let me go. I'm all over. I'm spoiled. My career is spilled. I'm an orphan.
You're breaking my heart, my orphan, my sweet potato.
Where's my Mama? I don't have a Mama.
I'm your wife. I'm the one who is your mama now.
It's not the same thing. I'm an orphan on earth. Who's going to protect me now?
My orphan, 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 orphan.
I don't want. I don't want.
Orphan, orphan,
Where is she? Where is she, my Mama?
She's in heavenly paradise. She hears you. She sees you among the flowers.
That's not even true. She can't hear me. She can't see me.
Oh, come on. Calm down. Don't get so upset. You have great qualities, my little building marshal. Dry your dears, the guests are sure to come this evening, and they mustn't see you this way. All is not lost. All is not spoiled. You will tell them everything. You will explain you have a message. You always say that you're going to deliver it. Well, you must live. You have to struggle for your message.
I have a message. That's God's truth. I struggle. Listen, I have something to say, something to communicate to humanity, to mankind.
To mankind, my sweet potato, your message. Well, that's it. You're a man, a soldier, a marshal of the building.
I'm not like other people. I have an ideal in life. I'm perhaps gifted, as you say. I have some talent, but things aren't easy for me. I've served well in my capacity as marshal of the building. I've been in command of every situation. I've served honorably. That should be enough.
Not for you. You're not like other people. You're much greater. Oh, and moreover, you would have done much better if you'd have got along with other people like other people do. You quarrel with all your friends, with all the directors, with all the generals, with your own brother.
That's not my fault, Semiramis. You know very well what he said.
Oh, what did he say?
He said, my friends, I have a plea. I'm paying you a visit and hope I leave my plea with you.
Oh, people say things like that, my dear. You shouldn't have paid any attention to him. But with Carol, why were you so angry with him? Or was it his fault, too?
Oh, you're going to make me angry. You're going to make me angry. Of course it was his fault. He came one evening. He said, I know just the word that fits you. I'm not going to say it, I'm just going to think it. And then he laughed like a fool.
But he had a warm heart. In this life, you've got to be less sensitive.
I don't care for jokes like that.
You could have been head admiral, head cabinet maker, head orchestra conductor.
In the garden, there was what?
The city of Paris.
At the end of the city of Paris, there was what?
My sweet potato was what? My sweet potato was who?
The place and the weather were beautiful.
The weather was so beautiful, are you sure?
I can no longer recall the place.
Don't tax your mind then.
But it's too far away. I can no longer recall it. Where was this?
What?
Where was this? And who?
No matter where it is, I will follow you anywhere. I will follow you, my sweet potato.
Oh, but I have so much difficulty expressing myself. But I must tell it all.
Well, it's a sacred duty. You have no right to keep your message from the world. You must deliver it to mankind. They're waiting for it. The universe waits only for you.
Yes, I will speak.
Well, have you really decided then? I mean, you must.
Drink your tea, Semiramis.
You could have been head orator if you'd had a little more ambition in life. I'm proud. I'm happy that you have at last decided to speak to every country, to Europe, to every continent.
I have so much difficulty expressing myself. Things aren't easy for me.
It's easy once you begin, like life and death. It's enough that you have your mind made up. It's in speaking that ideas come to us, words. And then we, in our own words, we find perhaps everything. The city too, and the garden, and then we are orphans no longer.
It's not I who's going to speak. I've hired a professional orator. He'll speak in my name. You'll see.
Then it really is for this evening? Have you invited everyone? All the characters, all the property owners, all the intellectuals?
Yes, all the owners and all the intellectuals.
The janitors? The bishops, the chemists, the tinsmiths, the violinists, the delegates, the presidents, the police, the merchants, the buildings, the penholders, the chromosomes.
Yes, and the post office employees, the innkeepers, the artists, anyone who's either a little intellectual or a little proprietary.
And the bankers?
Yes, I've invited them.
The proletarians, the functionaries, the militaries, the revolutionaries, the reactionaries, the alienists and their aliens.
Of course, all of them, all of them, all of them! Since actually everyone is either a little intellectual or a little proprietary.
I get so upset, I don't mean to annoy you. You're so very absent-minded. Like all great geniuses. This meeting is very important. They must all be here this evening. Can you count on that? Have they promised?
Drink your tea, Semiramis.
The papacy, the papayas, and the papers?
I've invited them! I'm going to communicate the message to them. All my life I felt like I was suffocating. But now they'll hear it all. Thanks to you and the orator. You're the only ones who've ever really understood me.
I am so proud of you.
The meeting will take place in a few minutes.
So it's true. It really is for this evening. Well, you won't feel like crying anymore. The intellectuals and the proprietors will take place of the papas and mamas. Well, couldn't you put this meeting off? It won't be too tiring for us.
You really think that this will tire us?
You have a slight cold.
Well, how can I call it off?
Invite them for another evening. You could telephone.
No, by God, it's too late. I can't do that. They're probably already
You
informed.
should have been more careful.
I think someone is coming already. Yes, they're coming!
Perhaps it's the orator.
No, he won't come so soon. This must be someone else. Come on.
My hair must look a sight. Wait a moment.
Well, you should have thought of that before. You had plenty of time.
I'm so badly dressed. I'm wearing an old gown and it's rumpled.
All you had to do was press it. Hurry up. You are making our guest wait. Good evening, madam. Won't you please come in? We're delighted to see you. This is my wife, Semiramis.
Good evening, madam. Oh, I'm very happy to make your acquaintance. Take care, don't ruin your hat. You might take out the hat pin. That will be more comfortable. Oh, no one will sit on it.
Well, why don't you take off your fur? Here, I'll help you. No, nothing will happen to it.
Oh, what a pretty suit. Such darling colors in your blouse. Won't you have some cookies? Oh, no, you're not fat at all. No, plump. Just leave your umbrella there.
After you, madam. No, I only have a modest position. You've had good weather?
You're not too tired? Yes, a little.
Oh, yes, at the edge of the water.
It's kind of you to say so.
Well, let me get you a chair.
Take this one for the moment, please. Oh, feels rather warm in here, doesn't it? Oh, what a charming fan you have. My husband gave me one just like it. That must have been 93 years ago, and I still have it. It was for my birthday.
No, madam, life is never cheap.
You are so right. Oh, well, as you say, it's about time all that changed. Perhaps my husband can do something about it. Yes, he's going to tell you all about it.
Hush, hush, Semiramis. The time hasn't come to talk about that just yet. Excuse me, madam, for having aroused your curiosity. Oh, no, madam, please, don't insist. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yes. Oh, surely not.
Yes, and not at all.
But yes.
No.
Well, it's certainly true.
It isn't possible.
Well, she's charming.
Oh, madam has made a conquest. My congratulations.
You're not like the young people today.
Oh, let me. Don't disturb yourself. I get it. Oh. You're quicker than I.
She's younger than you.
Old age is a terrific burden. I can only wish for you, madam, an eternal youth.
Well, he's sincere. He speaks from the heart. My sweet potato. Oh, that's very kind of you to take such an interest in us.
We live a retired life.
My husband's not really misanthropic. He just loves solitude.
We have the radio. I get in some fishing, and there's a fairly regular boat service.
On Sundays, there's 2 boats in the morning, 1 in the evening. Not to mention privately chartered trips.
And when the weather's clear, there's a moon.
He's always concerned with his duties as marshal of the building. They keep him busy. On the other hand, at his age, he might very well take it easy.
I can take it easy when I'm in my grave.
Don't say that, my sweet potato. Our family, what's left of it, my husband's friends, still come to see us from time to time. 10 years ago.
In the wintertime, a good book by the radiator and memories of a lifetime.
A modest life, but a full one. He devotes 2 hours every day to work on his message. Oh, someone has come. Go quickly.
Excuse me, I must go to the door. Go bring some chairs. It must be somebody important. Good evening, Colonel. This is a great honor for me. I was not expecting it, although, well, indeed. In short, I am most proud to welcome a hero of your eminence into my humble dwelling. Well, without false modesty, nevertheless, I must confess to you that I do not feel undeserving of this visit. Proud, yes. Undeserving, no.
Oh, what a sexy uniform. Oh, such handsome medals. Who is this, my sweet potato?
Can't you see that it's the Colonel?
Oh.
Count his stripes. I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Semiramis. Come nearer so that I can introduce you to the Colonel. My wife, the Colonel.
How do you do, Colonel? Welcome. You're an old comrade of my husband's. He's a marshal.
Marshal of the building,
Oh, he's most polite. Oh, you can tell that he's really superior. A superior being. This chair is for you.
This way, if you please. As you see, one guest has already arrived. We're expecting a great many more people.
Sit here, please.
A young lady that we know.
A very dear friend.
The Colonel, a very famous soldier.
Do take this chair.
No. Can't you see that the Colonel wishes to sit by the lady?
Oh, it's going too far.
Perhaps. Yes, Colonel, they're not here yet, but they will be here, and the order will come. He'll explain the meaning of my message. Colonel, take care. This lady's husband may arrive at any moment.
Who is this gentleman?
I told you it's the Colonel.
Oh, I knew it.
And why are you asking?
For my information. Colonel, get your hand out from under there.
Colonel! my mind, during the last war, did you win or lose?
But my dear, don't let it happen.
Look at me. Look at me. Do I look like a bad soldier to you? Why, one time, Colonel, under fire.
Oh, listen to him. He's going too far. It's embarrassing. Why don't you do something?
And all on my own. I killed 209 of them. Well, they called them that because they jumped so high to escape. However, there weren't nearly as many of them as there were flies. Well, of course, it's less amusing, Colonel, but thanks to my strength of character, I... No, Colonel, I insist, I must.
Well, my husband never lies. It may be true that we are all, nevertheless, we are respectable.
A hero must be a gentleman if he wishes to remain a true hero.
Oh, I've known you for many years, and I'd never have believed you capable of this. I never have believed him capable of this. We have our dignity, our self-respect.
I am still capable of bearing arms. Excuse me, I must go to the door. Pardon!
Oh, you didn't hurt yourself? Oh, you're all dirty. There's some doubt.
Forgive me. Go bring a chair.
Oh, excuse me for a moment.
He's just trying to piss me off. He almost made me angry. Oh, madam, you're here. I can scarcely believe my eyes. I didn't dare to hope. Madam, really. Oh, madam, I have thought of you all my life. All my life, madam. They used to call you La Belle. It's your husband. Someone told me, certainly. You haven't changed a bit. Oh, yes, your nose has grown longer. Maybe it's a little bit swollen. I didn't notice it at first, but now I can see it. How unfortunate. You didn't do it on purpose. Well, how did it happen? Little by little. Excuse me, sir, and dear friend. May I call you dear friend? I knew your wife long before you. She was the same, but with a completely different nose. My congratulations. You two seem to love each other very much. Semiramis! Two guests have arrived. We need one more chair. Now then, madam. Belle. Miss Belle. That's what they called you. Now you're all bent over. Oh, sir, she is still Belle to me, even so. Under her glasses, she still has pretty eyes. And her hair is white, but under the white one can see brown and blue. I'm sure of it. And come nearer. What's this, sir? A present for my wife? Semiramis. This is Belle. You know, Belle. Now then, Miss Belle, Mrs. Belle. Don't smile. And her husband. And childhood friend. I've spoken of her often to you. And her husband. And her husband.
Oh, well, he certainly makes a good impression. Oh, he has fine manners. Good evening, madam. Good evening, sir. Well, our friends, yes.
He's brought you a present.
Is it a flower, sir, or a cradle? A pear tree or a crow?
No. Can't you see that it's a painting?
Oh, yes, how pretty. Thank you, sir. Would you like to see it, dear friend?
Would you like to see it?
Doctor, Doctor, I feel squeamish. Well, I have hot flashes. I feel sick. I have aches and pains. Well, I haven't any feeling in my feet. I've got cold in my fingers. I've cold in my eyes. I'm suffering from liver trouble. Doctor.
The gentleman is not a doctor. He's a photo engraver.
If you're finished looking at it, you just might hang it up. That doesn't matter. He's charming even so. He's dazzling. Without meaning to flatter you.
I'm very touched. You're still the same in spite of everything. I loved you 100 years ago, but so much has changed. Oh, no. You haven't changed a bit. I love you. I loved you.
Oh, sir.
I am in complete agreement with you on that point.
Oh, certainly, sir. Certainly. Thanks for hanging it up. Forgive me if I've inconvenienced you.
Where are the snows of yesteryear?
Sir.
Well, she's a young friend. She's very sweet.
Yes, he's a mounted staff colonel, a comrade of my husband's, a subaltern. My husband's a concierge.
Belle, your ears weren't always so pointed.
So
do you remember?
You think I'm too old for that, do you?
When we were young, the moon was a living star. Oh, if only we dared, but we were only children. Wouldn't you like to recapture those bygone days? Is it still possible? Is it still possible? No, it's no longer possible. Those days have flown away as fast as a train. Time has left his wheel marks on our skin. Do you believe that surgeons can still perform miracles? Colonel, we soldiers are young. You and I, the generals, are like gods. It ought to be that way. Oh, if only we dared, but we've lost everything. We could have been so happy. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Oh, if only we dared, but everything is lost.
Flatterer, rascal. I'm a bit younger in my years. You're a little savage. You're exciting.
Will you be my Isolde and let me be your Tristan? Beauty is more than skin deep. Do you understand? We could have had the joy of sharing pleasure, beauty, eternity, and eternity. Why weren't we brave enough? Everything is lost.
Oh no, you give me the shivers. You too, are you ticklish? To tickle or be tickled? I'm a little embarrassed. Do you like my skirt? Or do you like my underwear better?
A concierge leads a poor existence.
In order to make crepes de chine, a leaf of beef, an hour flour, a little gastric sugar. Oh, you've got clever fingers. Oh, Sid. Oh.
My helpmeet Semiramis has taken the place of my mother.
Oh.
Colonel, as I've often observed you, one must take the truth where one finds it.
Do you really believe that one can have children at any age? At any age, children?
It is this alone that has saved me, my peace of mind, inner life, austerity, scientific investigations, my philosophy, my message.
What? I've never yet betrayed my husband, the building marshal. Not so hard, you're gonna make me fall. I'm only his poor grandmother. It's grandmother. It's my conscience that causes these tears. For me, the branch of the apple tree is broken. Try to find somebody else. I no longer want to gather rosebuds.
All the preoccupations of a superior order.
Sit down. Please, sit down.
Oh, yes. I had a very small dog. I raised him from a puppy. He would follow me everywhere. My little boy.
We had one son. Of course he's still alive. He's gone away. It's a common story, or rather unusual. He abandoned his parents. He had a heart of gold. That was a long time ago. We loved him so much. He slammed the door. My husband and I tried to hold him back with all our might. He was 7 years old, the age of reason. I called after him, my son, my child, my son, my child. He didn't even look back.
No, we never had any children. I'd hoped for a son. Semiramis, too. We tried everything. Poor Semiramis, she's so maternal. Perhaps it's better off that way. As for me, I was an ungrateful son myself. Grief, regret, remorse. It's all we have. It's all we have left.
He said to me, "You kill birds. Why do you kill birds?" But we don't kill birds. We've never harmed so much as a fly. His eyes were full of big tears. He wouldn't let us dry them. He wouldn't let me come near him. He said, "Yes, you kill all the birds, all the birds." He showed us his little fists. "You're lying, you betrayed me. The streets are full of dead birds, of dying baby birds." Well, no, it's the song of the birds. No, it's their death rattle. The sky is red with blood. He cried again, "You betrayed me. I adored you. I believed you to be good. The streets are full of dead birds. You've torn out their eyes. Papa, Mama, you're wicked. I refuse to stay with you." I threw myself at his feet. His father was weeping. We couldn't hold him back. And as he left, we could still hear him calling, "It's you who are responsible." What does that mean, responsible?
I let my mother die all alone in the ditch. I could hear her moaning after me, feebly calling, "My little child, my beloved son, don't leave me here all alone. Stay with me, I have so little time left." "Don't worry, Mama," I said. "I'll be back in a moment." I was going to a ball.
To dance. I'll be back in a minute.
When I got back, she was already dead and they buried her deep.
I tore open the grave. I searched for her.
I couldn't find her. I know sons always abandon their mothers and they more or less kill their fathers. Life is that way, but I suffer for it and the others, they don't.
He cried, "Papa, Mama, I'll never set eyes on you again."
I suffer for it, yes. The others, they don't.
Don't speak of him to my husband. He loved his parents so much, he never left their side. He cared for them, coddled them, and they died in his arms, saying, "You have been a perfect son. God will be good to you."
I can still see her stretched out in the ditch, holding Lily of the Valley in her hands.
She called out to me. She said, "Don't leave me here. Don't leave me here all alone." And then she called me by my little baby name. "Little Peep, little Peep, don't leave me here to die."
Well, he's never written to us. Well, from time to time, a friend tells us that he's been seen here or there, that he's well, that he's a good husband.
When I got back, she'd been buried a long time. "Oh, yes. Oh, yes, madam. We have a movie theater in the house, a restaurant, bathrooms.
Yes.
Basically, that's it."
If that.
Well, thus
All in all.
certainly, from them to us.
Him or her?
Well, from me to them.
Curl papers, after all.
Them? And, well, yes. Not at all.
that, madam? More people. Still more people.
I thought I heard some bones.
I'll go to the door. Hurry, bring some chairs. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
Get up for a moment, please. The order will be here in a moment. We must get the room ready. Oh, lend a hand, please.
Come in, ladies. Come in, gentlemen. My wife, Mr. and Mrs. Tall. My wife, Mr. and Mrs. Tallest.
Who are all these tall people?
Hurry, bring some chairs.
Oh, I can't do everything.
Please, don't drop your movie camera. The lady, the colonel, Mrs. Bell, the photo engraver. These are the newspaper people. They've come to hear the orator speak too, who should be here any minute. Don't be impatient. You'll not be bored. Now, all together now, come on. Semiramis, faster, we need one more chair.
All right, and so? I'm doing as well as I can. I'm not a machine, you know. Who are all these tall people?
Sit here. Sit here. The ladies with the ladies. Excuse me. The gentlemen with the gentlemen, or vice versa, if you prefer. We don't have any more good chairs. We have to make do with what we have. Oh, I'm sorry. Then take the one in the middle. Anyone need a fountain pen? Telephone Josephine. You will get the director. Oh, no. I don't have the internet. I still read all the newspapers. Well, that depends on a number of things. I manage these buildings, but I don't get any help. We have to economize. No interviews. Not for the present, at least. Later, we'll see. We'll have you a chair soon. Semiramis, faster!
I'm doing my best. Who are all these people?
I'll explain it all to you later.
And that woman, my sweet.
Now, my dear, don't get upset. Colonel, a journalist has a profession too, just like a fighting man's. Take care of the ladies, my dear. Just a moment.
Gentlemen, ladies, excuse me.
Come in. Come in. Come in. Boom. Bringing little children to a scientific lecture. The poor things are going to be bored. Now, listen. If you begin to cry, or you pee-pee on the ladies' dresses, that will be a sad state of affairs. Now, sit. I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Semiramis, and these are their children.
Oh, gentlemen, ladies, how sweet.
Not enough chairs.
Oh, dear, oh, no.
Listen, why don't you sit with the little one in your lap? The twins can stay in the same chair. Be careful, children. Those chairs are not that strong. They go with the house. They belong to the landlord. Yes, my children, he would make trouble for us. He is a very bad man. He wants us to buy these chairs from him, these worthless chairs. Well, now you don't all know each other. You're seeing each other for the first time. You knew each other by name. Semiramis, help me make the introductions.
But who are all these people? Big Papa, no, dear.
May I introduce you?
Big Papa.
Allow me to introduce you. Permit me.
Did you put on your sweater?
Mr.
No.
More people. More people.
Me too.
Now then, any room left.
Are you wearing your sweater?
More people! More chairs! More people! More people! More chairs! Yes, yes, yes! Oh, come in! Ladies and gentlemen, we'll find you! We'll give you a hand soon!
Oh dear! Oh no!
Yes, yes, yes!
Big pardon! No!
Right away, right away! Are you wearing your sweater?
Oh dear! Oh no!
Are you wearing your sweater?
Your sweater! My sweater! Oh, there's so many people!
Semiramis! Semiramis! Yes! Yes!
Oh dear!
Yes! Yes! Immediately! Ladies, gentlemen, I request you, I pray you, pardon, enter, please, there are the chairs. You, my friend, there, not there, you, my friend. No more people. No more people.
There's too many
Please.
people!
don't be impatient. We'll take care of you. Each in his turn in the order of your arrival. I'll find you a seat. I'll take care of you.
By your programs! Wait a moment, ma'am. I cannot take care of everyone at the same time. I haven't got 33 hands. You know I'm not a cow. Bonbon, guillemot, caramel, Eskimo, chocolate. My sweet potato. My sweet potato. I can't see you anymore. Where are you? Who are they? What do all these people want? Who's that man over there?
Semiramis! Semiramis, where are you?
My sweet potato, where are you?
I'm here, by the window. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear your voice. There's so many, but I can make out yours.
Yes, and you? Where are you?
I'm beside the window, too. But dear, I'm frightened. There's too many people. We're very far from each other. We have to be careful. And ours, might get lost. One never knows. My sweet potato!
Don't worry, my dear. I'm with friends. In order to prevent the exploitation of men by men, we need money, and still more money.
My sweet potato! Yes, my husband is here. He's organizing everything. Over there? You'd never get there. You'd have to go across.
Not at all. Pure logic doesn't exist. All we have is an imitation.
But you know, there are people who are happy. In the morning, they have breakfast on the plane. At noon, they lunch in the Pullman. And in the evening, they dine aboard the liner. One night, they sleep on the trucks that roll, roll, roll.
Talk about equality of man. Let's be logical. Equality does not exist.
Don't slink away into the shadows.
Your compatriots ask of me.
Don't slink away. Yes, certainly. Tell me everything.
I've invited you here in order to explain to you that the man and the person are the same thing.
Well, he has a borrowed look about him. He owes us a lot of money.
I am not myself. I am the other. I am the one in the other.
My children take care not to trust one another.
Well, no, you see, life is a perfect circle. Sometimes I wake up in the midst of absolute silence. Everything is accounted for, but one must take care nonetheless because its shape may disappear. There are holes through which it can escape.
Ghosts, you know, phantoms, mere nothing. The duties my husband performs are very important, sublime.
That is not my opinion at all. In a moment, I will explain my views on this subject. I have nothing to say at this time. We're waiting for the orator. He'll speak in my name. He'll explain everything that you hold dear. He'll tell you everything. When the moment has come, the moment will come soon.
The sooner the better, that's understood. Oh, leave us alone. They're never going to leave us alone. Poor sweet potato, where is he? I can't see him anymore.
Don't be impatient. You'll hear my message at the proper time.
I can hear his voice. Oh, do you know that my husband has never been understood, but at last his hour has come.
Listen to me. I've had a broad experience in life, in all walks of life, in all phases of existence. I am not an egotist. I feel that mankind must benefit from what I've learned.
Ow! You stepped on my foot. I've got chilblains.
You see, I have perfected a system. That orator ought to be here. I have suffered much.
The order ought to be here. It's certainly time.
Suffered much, learned much.
Suffered much, learned much.
If only my instructions are carried out.
Only his instructions are carried out.
Then we will have a perfect system.
Perfect system.
You shall see.
You shall see.
Follow me.
Follow him.
For I have absolute certainty.
He has absolute certainty.
Never.
Ever and ever.
Follow me.
Follow him. What's going on? sweet potato. Yes, the Emperor! The Emperor! In our house! In our house!
Your Majesty! Your Majesty! This is a sublime honor. It's a marvelous dream.
Marvelous dream, marvelous.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand up. It's our beloved Majesty the Emperor. Hurrah!
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Your Majesty! Your Majesty, I'm over here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Your Majesty, I'm here, your most faithful servant.
Your most faithful servant, Your Majesty.
I'm your most faithful servant. I'm your slave. I'm your dog. I am at the height of joy. No words can express my boundless gratitude. In my humble dwelling, in the dwelling where, true enough, I am a concierge, but in the hierarchy of your army, Your Majesty, I am Marshal of the building.
Marshal of the building.
I am proud. I'm proud and humble as I should be. Certainly, I'm only a concierge. I could have served at the imperial court. I only serve a little court here. Your Majesty, I expressed myself badly. I could have had many things, not just a few possessions. If only I had wanted. If Your Majesty had decided. Your Majesty, forgive my emotion. I have suffered much. I brought bad luck to all my friends. All those who held their hands out to me. Lightning has struck the hand that was held out to me.
It was held out.
They've always had good reasons for hating me, bad reasons for loving
Oh,
me.
that's not true, my sweet potato. Not true. I love you. I'm your little mother.
All my enemies have betrayed me, and my friends have turned on me.
Friends, turn on me.
They've treated me badly. They've persecuted me. I sometimes, if I complained, it was always they who were in the right. I tried to strike back, but I never could strike back. I have too much pity. I could never strike the enemy to the ground. I'm much too good.
It was too good. Go.
It was my pity that defeated me.
Pity.
But they never pitied me. I gave them knife blows. They repaid it with cannon blows, with club blows. They crushed my bones.
Crush my bones.
They've suppressed me. They've assassinated me. They've robbed me. I've been the collector of injustices, the lightning rod of catastrophe.
Lightning rod.
In order to forget, Your Majesty, I tried to go in for sports. Mountain climbing. I tried to cross the river, but they burned all the bridges.
Burn all the bridges.
I tried to climb the Pyrenees, but there were no more Pyrenees.
No more Pyrenees. Oh, he could have been. He too, Your Majesty, like so many others, a head editor, a head actor, a head general. Your Majesty, a head king.
And furthermore, Your Majesty, no one has ever shown me due consideration. No one has ever sent me invitations. But hear me, Your Majesty, I alone could have saved mankind who is so sick. Your Majesty realizes this, as do I, or at least I could have spared it the suffering that it's had to endure this last quarter of a century. If only I had had the chance to deliver my message. I do not despair of having saved it. There is still time. I have a plan. Unfortunately, I expressed myself so badly.
The orator will be here, my sweet potato, and he'll speak for you. And His Majesty is here, thus you'll be heard. There's no reason to despair. You hold all the trumps. Everything has changed. Everything has changed.
Forgive me, Your Majesty. I know you have a great many other worries, but I have been humiliated. Ladies and gentlemen, move aside a little bit. Don't hide His Majesty's face from me altogether. But if Your Majesty has condescended to come into my wretched home, then that means that you have decided to listen to my wretched self. Oh, what a marvelous reward. If corporally I raise myself on my toes, that is not through pride, Your Majesty. It is only to gaze upon your face. Morally, I throw myself at your knees.
At your knees, sire. We throw ourselves at your knees, at your feet, at your toes.
Your Majesty, I have been treated so badly, but since your Majesty is here, I'm here, Your Majesty, I'm here. Your Majesty, I've had many things happen. The orator ought to be here. He is making His Majesty wait.
Your Majesty will forgive him. He'll be here soon. He'll be here in a moment. They telephoned us.
His Majesty is too kind. He wouldn't leave just like that without having listened to everything, without having heard everything.
Oh, heard everything. Listen to everything.
Your Majesty, it is not I who's going to speak. I lack the talent. It's the orator. He has all the papers, all the documents.
He has all the documents.
If you just have a little more patience, Your Majesty, he will be here.
Oh, he'll be here in a moment.
Your Majesty, hear me. Long ago, I had the revelation. I was 40 years old. I say this also to you, ladies and gentlemen. One evening after supper, before bed, which was our custom, I seated myself on my father's knees. Now, my mustaches were longer than his and more pointed. I had more hair on my chest, and yes, my hair was already graying and his was still brown. There were some adults at the table, guests. They began to laugh, I'm not joking, I told them. I love my papa very much. One of them replied,
It's midnight. A child should be in bed. If you don't go Betty-bye, then you're no longer a kid.
and I would still not have believed them, except that they addressed me as an adult.
An adult.
Instead of as a child. Nevertheless, I thought to myself, I'm not married, therefore I am still a child. Well, they married me off right then to prove the contrary to me. Unfortunately, my wife has been both father and mother to me. Your Majesty.
The orator will be here in a moment, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, the orator will come.
He 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 will come. He will come.
He will come.
He will come.
He is coming.
He is coming, Your Majesty. He is coming. Here he is.
He exists in the flesh and blood.
It's really he. He exists. This is not a dream.
It's not a dream. I told you so.
Your Majesty, may I present to you the orator.
It is he.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may ask him for autographs. No man in his lifetime could be so blessed.
No man could be so blessed.
And now, Your Majesty, with your permission, I will address you all, gentlemen, ladies, young ladies, children, comrades, compatriots, Your Honor, the President, comrades in arms.
And little children.
I address you all, regardless of age, sex, race, business, to give you my warmest thanks.
Mercy.
As well as the orator, cordially for having arrived in such large numbers. Silence, gentlemen!
Silence, gentlemen.
I would also like to express all those who helped prepare this evening, the organizers.
Bravo!
I would also like to give my warmest thanks to the cabinet makers who have made these chairs on which you are all seating. To the master carpenter who made these marvelous doors.
Marvelous doors!
Who made the chair in which Your Majesty is seated and sinking so softly, which does not prevent you nonetheless from maintaining a firm and manly attitude. To my wife, to my helpmate, Samiramis.
My sweet potato. He never forgets to give me credit.
Above all, I would like to thank all those who gave their moral, financial support to help to contribute to this evening's enormous success. And above all, I'd like to thank His Majesty, the Emperor.
Majesty, Emperor!
Your Majesty. Your Majesty. wife and I have nothing left to ask of this existence. We can now disappear quietly. We thank God for having given us such long and peaceful lives. And as for me, I've lived a full life. I can rest easy knowing that my mission is accomplished, that my message will be delivered to the world. Well, to the world, or rather what is left of it, and to you, ladies and gentlemen, who are all the remains of humanity. But with such good leftovers, one can certainly make a very good soup. And you, my dear friend, the orator. If long I have been overlooked, underestimated by my contemporaries, it is because it had to be. What does all that matter now that I am leaving to you the responsibility of radiating upon posterity the light of my mind, thus making known to the universe my deepest thoughts? Please tell all the details, neglect none of the details of my private life, some amusing, some painful, some heartwarming. Tell it all. Well, speak of my taste, of my amusing gluttony. Tell everything. Speak of my beloved helpmeet, of her marvelously prepared little Turkish pies, of her potted rabbit, a la Norman rabbit, and speak of Berry, my native province. I count on you, O Master Orator. And as for me and my wife, after many years of service on behalf of mankind, in which we have fought the good fight, there's nothing left for us to do but withdraw immediately and suffer the supreme sacrifice that none of you demands of us, but which we shall carry out nonetheless.
Yes, let's die in full glory. Let's die in order to become a legend. At least they'll name us straight after us.
My wife, my helpmeet, you who have believed in me for a whole century, who have never left me, never. And now, at this supreme moment, the crowd piteously separates us. Above all, I had hoped that we might rest peacefully in the same tomb, that our same skin might disappear gently together, that our same bones might dissolve together, that the same worms might gently feed, sharing our decaying flesh as we rot together.
Rot together.
Alas, alas, we shall rot in an aquatic solitude. Don't pity us overmuch.
What will be, will be.
We shall not be forgotten, for the eternal emperor will remember us always. We will leave some traces, for we are people and not cities.
We will have a street named after us.
My beloved helpmeet, let us be united in time and eternity, even though we are separated in space, as we were through adversity. Let us die at the same moment. You, O great master, great orator, one last time, I place my faith in you. You will tell it all. Bequeath my message. And now, with your master, with your majesty's permission, farewell to all. Farewell, Semiramis.
Farewell to all. Farewell, my sweet potato.
Long live the emperor.
Long live the emperor.
Adieu, Semiramis!
Adieu, my sweet potato.
And